Welcome back to another Film Geek movie review. In just a bit, I'm hitting the road to check out the new action film, Boy Kills World. So what's the plot of this film? Well, this movie is starring Bill Skarsgard, and he plays a person who, as a child, was made deaf and mute. Then his family was slaughtered in front of his eyes. So as he grew up, he seeked out revenge against the people that killed his family. Sounds like a pretty normal action film, right? Just a normal revenge flick. However, this movie kicks it up a notch. Because you see, the character is deaf and mute. So he can't speak or communicate. He does know a little bit of sign language, and he can read lips. But other than that, he's pretty much deaf and mute. So instead of having an external voice, he has an internal voice. He has a voice inside of his head that narrates the film, and it is played by none other than H. John Benjamin. Now, if you're a fan of home movies, you know him as Coach, or you might know him as Bob from Bob's Burgers. In other words, he's done a lot of voice acting. Or he's also the guy who does those Arby's commercials. You know, the We've Got the Meats guy. Well, no, that's a different announcer. But he did do some Arby's commercials, I swear it. But anyways, guys, enough of me sitting here yammering, because I gotta get out the door, because you know why? It is time to go see Boy Kills World. Welcome back, just getting home, and you know what, guys? I really enjoyed this film. It was a lot of fun. So let's get this started, shall we? We're going to get things started with the negatives, then move into the positives to end the video on the ever so important high note. Okay, so let's just get this out of the way. This film is extremely bloody and violent. If you are not someone that likes extreme gore and violence, this is not for you. And I mean, there are body parts getting chopped off, there is blood, there is guts, there is anything and everything that could possibly come out of a body. Well, almost. Well, no, yeah, I think so. I think, yes, I think we do get pretty much all the body fluids in this film. If that's something that grosses you out, this is not your movie. Also, it's very silly. There's a lot of just goofy, silly humor in this film, a lot of slapstick, things of that sort, not your brand of humor. And also, it's not real heavy on story or character development. I mean, you pretty much don't get any character development. Our main character doesn't speak throughout the entire film because he can't. He does have an internal monologue, so I guess that works. But if you're looking for a lot of substance for your film, this is probably not for you. This is definitely a lot of flash and shiny colors and not a lot of story. But that's not something that concerns me too awful much. If this is stuff that doesn't bother you too awful much, then keep listening because we are now in the positives. Okay, so is the story all that deep? No, not really, but it does offer some nice little elements, and it throws some twists and turns later into the third act that kind of give a little bit more substance to the movie. But all in all, it is a fairly typical kind of revenge flick. The film starts off, kid is wronged, kid finds a teacher teaches him how to fight and kill and so on and so forth, and then he goes on a bloody rampage. Other things I like about this film too, the way the movie is shot. I love the cinematography in this film. This movie really looks like a live action anime, and I loved every element. It was very colorful, it was bright, and the way it was filmed, it really reminded me of a specific anime, honestly. The way it was filmed really reminded me of the art in the anime Samurai Champloo. If you have ever seen that one, you're going to really like the fight choreography in this film because it's very reminiscent of that anime. So a lot of the choreography in this film is very well done. Now, I don't know if Bill Skarsgard has professional training, but he does an excellent job in this film. The addition of H. John Benjamin as the internal monologue thing is outstanding. It really makes the film so much more enjoyable. And I think that's what something was kind of missing with like the film Silent Night, where we had the silent hero in that film. This one's a bit different because we at least get something going on that kind of tells us what's going on, and it's the internal thoughts of the main character, which is really a lot of fun. There are some good gags in this film. However, there are moments where the rules don't seem to apply. Like, there's this gag that runs throughout the film about the fact that he can read lips. But in some situation, and then they'll do stuff where they'll make jokes about that, like, oh, he can't see the lips of this person, so we as viewers don't really know what's going on for a moment. But it doesn't always keep those rules. It doesn't always follow them. There are moments where you're like, he's definitely not looking at this person's lips. How in God's green earth can we hear what they're saying? But all in all, guys, what this film is, at its core, is a turn your brain off, shove some popcorn in your mouth, and just have a bloody good time. Because that is exactly what this film is at its core. Just a lot of fun, and a lot of bright colors, and a lot of just over-the-top violence. And so if that sounds like something that's going to tickle your fancy this weekend, then I highly recommend getting out there in theaters and checking out Boy Kills World. Now, guys, thanks again for checking out the Film Geek. If you liked what you saw here today, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, ring that bell for notifications, and give me the old thumbs up so I know you like what you're seeing. And if there's one more thing you can do, folks, that is keep watching movies. You know I'm gonna.